In 1999, researchers removed 70% of a rat's liver. Within 7 days, it had fully grown back. No other solid organ in the human body can do that. Not your kidneys, not your heart, not your lungs, only your liver. And here's what that experiment revealed. Something that changes how you should think about every drink you've ever had. Your liver isn't just surviving the damage you give it. It's been waiting every single day for the chance to undo it. The question is, how fast does that actually happen? What goes on inside your liver on day 1, day 3, day 7, day 14, and day 30 after your last drink? The answer is even more extraordinary than you've been told. But first, you need to understand what alcohol is actually doing in there. Because once you do, what happens when you stop becomes even more remarkable. When you drink, your liver intercepts almost all of it. About 90% of the alcohol in your blood is routed directly to the liver. It takes the hit so your brain, your heart, your kidneys don't have to. Inside your liver cells called hepatocytes, the alcohol gets broken down. But during that process, something toxic is created. It's called acetaldehyde, and it's far more damaging than the alcohol itself. Acetaldehyde attacks the hepatocyte from the inside. It disrupts fat processing. It triggers inflammation. Over time, it causes fat to build up inside the liver cells themselves. That's fatty liver disease. And here's the part that stops most people cold. It affects roughly 1 in 4 adults worldwide. Most of them have no idea. There are 3 stages of alcohol-related liver damage. Fatty liver, alcoholic hepatitis, cirrhosis, which is permanent scarring. The first 2, your liver can undo them. The third, it cannot, which is exactly why what happens in the next 30 days matters so much. Let's go. The moment you stop drinking, your liver gets the message. Within hours, not days, hours, acetaldehyde levels in your blood begin to fall. The toxic load that was hammering your hepatocytes starts to lift. Your liver's immune cells, called Kupffer cells, switch modes. They stop fighting the damage and start clearing it. Dead hepatocytes, cellular debris, all of it gets swept out. Now you won't feel any of this. In fact, you'll probably feel worse on day 1. Headache, fatigue, irritability. Maybe worse. That's not your liver getting worse. That's withdrawal. Your body adjusting to the absence of something it had learned to expect. Inside, the repair signal has already fired. Have you ever had a blood test come back with high liver enzymes? Your doctor probably told you to cut back on drinking. But here's what they didn't show you what those numbers actually look like when you do. By day 3, 2 enzymes called ALT and AST, the markers doctors use to measure liver stress, have already started dropping, from elevated back toward normal. At the same time, the fat deposits inside your hepatocytes start to mobilize. Your liver begins breaking them down. The cellular congestion that's been building it starts to clear. You still won't feel it. Day 3 can still feel rough, but inside your bloodstream, the numbers are already telling a different story. 1 week in, and this is where it gets genuinely strange. You'd expect the liver to heal the way a cut heals, new tissue slowly filling in the gap. Logical. Predictable. That's not what happens. Researchers at the University of Illinois discovered something extraordinary about how liver cells actually regenerate. To rebuild, your hepatocytes don't just divide. They reprogram. They revert their own gene expression backwards into a fetal-like state. A simpler, more primitive version of themselves, the kind of cell that existed before you were even born. Then, from that state, they multiply. Then they reverse the process, maturing back into fully functioning adult liver cells. Your liver is rebuilding itself using a blueprint from before you existed. No other solid organ does this, not one. And by day 7, this process is already underway inside you. The stellate cells, the ones that produce scar tissue when the liver is under stress, start receiving signals to stand down. Less scarring, more new cells. Blood flow through the liver normalizes. And most people feel it around this point. Clearer head, more energy, better sleep. That's not placebo. That's your liver handing function back to your body. 2 weeks, and now something you can actually measure is happening. Studies show measurable reduction in liver fat at the 2-week mark. The pale, swollen, congested liver from day 1, it's shrinking back. The fat deposits are clearing. Inflammation markers in your blood have dropped significantly. In many people, liver enzyme levels have returned to within the normal range entirely. But here's what most people miss. Around day 14, the improvements aren't just in your liver. Your digestion improves, your sleep deepens, your skin clears. People around you notice before you do. None of that is coincidence. It's all downstream of one organ doing its job properly for the first time in a while. The liver doesn't just filter blood. It regulates your metabolism, your hormones, your immune response, your energy. When it heals, everything connected to it shifts. At 30 days, ultrasound studies of people who stopped drinking for 1 month show the liver returning toward normal size, normal texture, and normal function. According to the American Liver Foundation, fatty liver disease, the stage most people are at without knowing it can fully resolve within 2 to 6 weeks of abstinence. For many people watching this, day 30 is the finish line. For others, it's the halfway point. Everyone's liver heals on its own timeline. But everyone's liver heals if you give it the chance. The gut-liver connection fully begins to restore. Blood sugar regulation improves. Bile production normalizes. The downstream effects of one organ healing ripple through your entire body. 1 month ago, that liver was struggling. This is what it looks like when you stop fighting it. Now, there's something most videos like this won't tell you, and you deserve to know it. Everything we've covered today, the fetal cell regeneration, the fat clearing, the enzyme normalization, all of it applies to fatty liver disease and early-stage damage. If cirrhosis has set in, that is, if significant scar tissue has formed, that structural damage does not reverse. The liver can compensate. It can stabilize. But the scarred tissue stays. There's also this. Recent research has found that very long-term heavy alcohol use can interfere with the liver's ability to trigger that fetal cell reprogramming process at all. The cells get stuck. They can't revert. They can't rebuild. This isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to tell you the truth, that the timeline we just walked through depends on catching it early enough. The window is real, and it's open. If you want to know where your liver actually stands right now, ask your doctor for an ALT and AST blood test. It's simple, it's inexpensive, and it will tell you exactly what stage you're at. Your liver doesn't need a researcher to remove 70% of it to start rebuilding. It just needs you to stop giving it something to fight. It doesn't need a supplement. It doesn't need a detox program. It doesn't need anything you can buy. It needs 24 hours and a decision. This is Intus Health, explaining the human body from within. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like these.